Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meet Sangria episode, I don't even know, 9 maybe? I forgot what episode we're at, which is a good sign. I actually got an email from the podcast website that I use to post the podcast everywhere, and they were like, "You've made it. You posted more episodes than," I forget the number, like 90% of people that have ever started a podcast. I'm like, really? I've made like 5 episodes? Does that mean y'all are quitting? What the heck? It's not that hard to make 5 episodes. Even if no one's listening, I can make 100 episodes talking to the wall, which is what I'm doing. I am a little. I think I'm coming down with a sickness right now, so I apologize if my voice is a little bit coarse, and if I have to drink water every 2 seconds, which I'm going to do right now. It's 30 seconds in, and I have to drink water. But yeah, my nose is really dry. I don't really feel like I have a fever, but I'm bundled up. This is my first time wearing long sleeves and long pants in the video. You guys can't see up my shorts anymore. No more sneaking peeks up there. But yeah, it's a different vibe here. Very morose vibe. I'm sick. I think last video I was scratching my leg and I said I had bug bites. Well, now I realize it's poison ivy, and I don't know how I didn't realize before because I've gotten poison ivy probably like 5 to 10 times. I would say I've had it all over my hand. I've had it on my gonads before. I was trying to think of a fun word. My nether region, some would call it. I've had it there. I'm not sure what I was doing in the woods. No comment on that. No comment on what I like to do with the plants in my own backyard. But I've had it there before. It's really annoying. It takes a long time to go away. So I have to buy this cream, and it's this. You can't see it. It's all come off my hand, but it's this pink cream. It's like a thick paste. It kind of looks like you're spackling a wall, but I have to put it on my hand, and it's kind of weird. So I think it's helping. I only got it yesterday, but I am still pretty itchy, and it's really annoying. Actually, mango skin is the same has the same compound. I think it's called urushiol that is in poison ivy. So there was a time in high school where I would be eating mangoes all the time because mangoes are good, and I would like cut them with my hands, and then I would break out like my entire hand. I was like, "What the heck?" And we looked it up. So I can't cut mangoes myself. I have to have someone else do it, or I used to wear gloves too, which is kind of crazy. Cutting mangoes. So I can eat mangoes, but the skin is a problem. I feel like most people think poison ivy is like a quicksand type thing. It's like not real. It's like a made up enemy, but it's real. And I don't ever look for it. I just run through the woods. I gallop through the woods, gallivant like a little boy picking flowers, and then I'm coated. And apparently I don't think it's contagious, but my mom, she was like, yeah, the blisters can like spread other places. I'm like, I don't think so because I've been wiping fluids all over the place. I've been painting fluids on the wall, and nothing's happening. Um, in sad news, my grandma's in the hospital. I don't know why. This is supposed to be an upbeat podcast. She's in the hospital. She had a stroke, and I'm not sure how it's looking. It seems some days it's good, some days it's not. Went to visit her in the hospital. She is 86. She's getting up there. She's basically wheelchair bound. So we went to the hospital. She was out of it. She was basically unconscious, couldn't respond or anything. But my parents have been trying to set me up with her nurse at the time, or it was more of a joke. There was a young lady at the hospital who I heard many stories about. She's from our hometown. My goodness, and so I went to the hospital. They only let two people up at a time. I'm getting so hot right now. I can't tell if it's me talking about a love interest story, which is not even a real story, or that I'm actually sick. But went to the room and I met her and I was like, oh, and there was an awkward introduction from my mom who, could possibly make any. I remember my mom I'd like have a friend in sixth grade or something. I'd be walking home, or like my mom used to pick us up in sixth grade. I just remember one instance, like one of my friends said hi to me, and it was just like a person I was friends with, and like it was more of a joke that I just didn't say hi to her back or something. I said something stupid, and my mom was like, Matthew, why don't you say hi to her? Like, why don't you be nice? I'm like, bro, you're blowing my riz. What the heck? You're ruining everything. I'm trying to play it cool. She's like, oh, Matthew, why don't you say hi to her? So mom's not helping my cause. But I met this lady, and she was fine. She was nice. But it's just like, how am I supposed? Like, my grandma's on the bed, unconscious. She looks like a zombie, basically. Like, what are we expecting to happen here? I'm like, hey, what do you like to do for fun? As she's like, as the beeping in the back's going, beep beep beep. That's not great. So obviously nothing happened. And then my dad went with my mom afterwards, and he was like, blatantly, I'm not even the one. I wasn't even interested. I was just like, all right, she's my age, and she's from our hometown, which I don't even live in my parents' hometown. It's like it's an inconvenience if someone lives there. My dad was like, "Hey, you got a boyfriend? You single?" She was like, "Yeah, I do have a boyfriend." So opportunity missed right there. But the parents, they couldn't make it more awkward. So I'm glad they weren't in the room when I was doing that. But or I'm glad my dad was in the room. But I was also wearing. I have this shirt. I should have. I guess it's old laundry, but I have this shirt that I got in Belgium last year. And in Brussels, there's this statue of a little boy peeing. It's like a famous statue. It's like a fountain where he pees. I think he's peeing out of the penis. I'm not. I forgot. Pretty sure. And so I just bought the worst looking shirt I could, which is a instead of the boy peeing, it's a Despicable Me minion peeing outside. So it's just a Despicable Me minion pissing with his little stub of a wiener out on the T-shirt. I wish I had it here. Maybe I'll flash it on the screen. And I was wearing that. So I was wearing like I wore it because if my grandma was conscious, she'd be like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" and laugh. I wanted to make her happy, even though I don't think she knows. She'd be like, she'd probably think it was a demon, little Despicable Me piece of corn demon. But it was like the worst shirt I could possibly be wearing. And then I wore that on the way home. I wore that shirt the whole day. I'm pretty sure people on the subway were laughing at me, like, "What the fuck is this shirt?" I look like a tourist. Came straight from Belgium. Oh, New York City. I am from New York City. I'm visit. So, wasn't great. I can't remember the last time my parents tried to set me up with someone. I don't think they do. It's not a frequent thing. And I don't think I would like who they chose. I don't think my parents have ever set up any of my siblings on a date, which that's how they met. My parents met because of my dad's cousin and my mom's sister were dating. So they both married into the same family twice. It's kind of weird. But yeah, they're in the car. They're like, "Yeah, that's how we did it. We have friends. You refer people." But they haven't introduced me to anyone. So what are they doing? All that talk and not a lot of action, mom and dad. God damn. All right. But again, I don't want them to. I don't trust them. I don't trust who they're gonna find me. It's not the 1930s anymore, guys. You don't marry the first person you meet. Crazy. All right. Let's talk about some. My weekend was pretty. It was my mom's birthday also, which is pretty bad birthday for her because her mom's in the hospital. But my weekend was pretty okay. It was a good weekend, but kind of some depressing overtones to it. So it was fine. Nothing that eventful. Current events. We have I'm not really sure familiar about the story, but the fake heiress lady, Anna Sorokin. She is on Dancing with the Stars, and I just thought that was funny. It's like there's a point where they don't have enough people that want to go on Dancing with the Stars. They have to recruit criminals. They have to just I get it. She's not a real hardened criminal, but it's someone that just got out of jail. Like, okay, it's like having Gypsy Rose on the thing. It's like, all right, she killed her mom, yeah, but it was like whatever, self-defense. Like, why is she on the podcast, or why is she on the? What am I saying? My brain is being fried by the disease. I have a brain-eating amoeba. That could be it. When I went swimming in the lake. Why is she on that show? Like what? I mean, I get it. There's everyone on that show is kind of like a D-list celebrity. They're like, I couldn't be on that show. No one cares about me, but someone of my caliber could be on the show, and then everyone would be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But just having criminals, just ex-criminals, it's like, here's O.J. Simpson on Dancing with the Stars. He has a knife costume that he's wearing. Come on, guys. At a certain point, what are we doing? This is society. We're just having criminals. And then I think she's wearing an ankle monitor or something. Is she? I don't think she is on parole. I don't understand. That's just for design. Like, how much more could you lean into it? How much more? Like, Aaron Hernandez goes into Dancing with the Stars with a noose. Like, what are we doing here, guys? So that's more of a fun. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I would honestly go if they asked me, even though I just said no one would want me. I would go just for the elders in my family, for them to watch. Like, I think my mom would love if I was on Dancing with the Stars, and my grandparents. So I would do it for them. The only reason I'm doing, if they didn't exist, I wouldn't do it. But for them, I'd be like, all right, guys, I'll bite the bullet. I'll win for you. If you need me to win, I'll win. I'll win the Mirrorball Trophy. Is that what it is? I used to watch when I was younger. Carrie Ann Inaba, Len Goodman, Bruno Tomioli. How do I remember all their names? I'm that good, guys. I'm that good. I'm secretly a Dancing with the Stars super fan. I'm just trying to hide it. I watched every single season. How many seasons are there? 25, 30? It's crazy. It's like Survivor. I never said that, or maybe I have said this, but I applied to be on Survivor a few months ago, and I was not selected as far as I know. So, yeah, I don't watch Survivor. I did when I was younger. I watched all these shows when my family was gathering around the living room to watch them. But I would be on Survivor. I would love to go on Survivor. Like that show, I would love to go on. Um, so we'll see. Maybe I'll apply again. You have to make a whole video. This could honestly be my application, just me and this podcast. I like hiking. I like going to camping. I like being with my friends. I'm super funny and cool, and I love backstabbing people. Please have me on your show. We have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. cheating on his wife in super surprising news. Who would have suspected the man that's cutting heads off whales and whose voice sounds like the most heinous thing you've ever heard in your life would be cheating on his wife? Not me. The man who reportedly had 40-something mistresses in his phone when his other wife died. I don't even know. This is insanity. These people, guys, when you're at a certain point, to get to be super famous, and some of these people, you just have to be like mentally ill. You just have to be not a real person. You're just not a real human being anymore. So, and of course, he's cheating on his wife with a lady who's also cheating on her husband, and that man has also had some allegations in the past. So it's a whole web of just delinquents, a whole web of degenerates. It's just people that want to get ahead, people that were willing to do anything just to, like, if you're in the political sphere, I guess these are all like reporters. Like, imagine how cool it would be to be RFK Jr.'s wife. There's a 70-year-old man who's cheating with a 30-something-year-old woman. But just imagine how cool it would be to be his girl. I think that's what they're thinking. They're like, oh, I can move up in this world if I'm with him. He's not an attractive man. Let's be real. It's a 70-year-old man whose skin is peeling off. Sounds awful. There's nothing attractive about this man besides his name, his money, perhaps. Maybe he's got some cool stories. Maybe he's a friendly guy, whatever. He does have cool stories. I'll give him that. He does have some wild stories. But these people are just degenerate. They're not real human beings. I think we have to understand these are not real human beings. You would never meet this person on the street and go, that's a buddy of mine. That's a friend. It's like Donald Trump calling P. Diddy a friend. They're not friends. Like, listen, this is my only defense of Donald Trump. Like, I really think he just probably wanted to seem cool, like he was hip with like the black community. He's like, yeah, P. Diddy's a good friend of mine. I mean, I guarantee he didn't spend that much time with P. Diddy. So did he go to one of these crazy parties? Maybe. But I think they're just like, yeah, we're friends. Like, that's what famous people do. Or not even famous people, just like these political nut jobs. These people. So that's not surprising. This man is RFK Jr. Nothing could possibly surprise me again. I mean, he's not even running anymore. All these stories came out after he stopped running. He's with the Trump camp now. So the Kennedy family, it's insane. The curse is real. That family is in disarray. My goodness. And somehow the worst of them stay alive. It's like they take only the good ones. The worst among the Kennedys manage to live to the end of days. So RFK's wife, I'm sure, is going to stay with him. She hasn't said anything. I guarantee. He's like, this is not the first time he's done this. He's probably done this every week. He probably has a new woman. It's just how the world works, sadly. There's never a lack of women that are interested, and there's never a lack of men that have loose morals. Keep that in mind. There's always someone that's going to be interested. If he wanted to, he would cheat on you. It's not going to be difficult for these men, and they don't care. They're not real human beings. Once again, they might as well be lizard people. Like, honestly, lizard people doesn't even mean you're a lizard. It just means like your brain is like a lizard. Lizards don't have empathy. If I had a pet lizard, he could be the nicest guy ever. Like, I could hug him every night. He'd probably eat, if I dressed up in a little egg costume, he'd eat me. He'd eat me whole. I don't know. He'd eat me without the egg costume. I don't know why that changed anything. A giant fat egg boy. Oh, my lizard can eat me. But yeah, don't trust these people. Don't ever. I don't know. Like, I don't think I would ever endorse a political candidate. Like, I know there's all these famous, like Taylor Swift. Like, oh, who are you endorsing? I don't know. I certainly am voting for someone, but for me to endorse someone, like, I hate all of them so much. They all just suck. Like, I think they're all bad people. So I'm never gonna go out on my own whim. Like, of course, I want someone specific to win, but I can't endorse you. It just feels too wrong. You're just too much of a piece of shit. Like, I guess I can endorse, like, my friend if I really believed in him and loved him. I can endorse myself, but some random person, I'm not endorsing you, this schlub. this schlub that's doing God knows what in his spare time, his or her spare time. I'm not absolving Kamala here. She could be doing, who knows, doing some wild stuff. Um, and back to the P. Diddy thing, of course, I think when I made the last podcast, I didn't realize the 1,000 bottles of baby oil thing, but that's too late now, so I can't talk about that. I missed baby oil jokes. But now people keep talking about Eminem releasing, he has a song where he, like, makes these hints about P. Diddy, which he released that song, I looked it up in, like, 2 months ago. So we all already knew that. It's not like he's saying this years ago. It's like a song from July. Okay, he's just making, I forget. I don't remember. It's called Fuel, the song. But I forgot the actual lyrics. But then also it's like, oh my God, he was trying to warn us. Like, oh, thank God, Eminem. Like, oh, gee, great warning, Eminem. Imagine if he made this 20 years ago and P. Diddy was, like, he knew for a fact P. Diddy was a serial rapist, sexual predator. And instead of doing anything about it, he just puts coded lyrics in the song. It's like a treasure hunt. Oh, let's see if you can interpret this. Women and men are being violated by P. Diddy. And he's like, oh, let me see if anyone can crack the code here. So I don't get that part. Like praising him. I mean, the lyrics were good. Like, I'll be real. It's like, oh, wow. But just like the idea that he's actually trying to unearth something by hiding it in Rappler. There's no way to make it more obscure than that. It's like, I have proof that P. Diddy can make him go to jail right now. I'm going to hold off. Let's play a little game. Let's see. Eminem turns into Jigsaw. How about we play a little game with my rap lyrics? Let's see if the police can uncover this one. Somehow that makes it okay in the rap world. Like, if the police discover someone's a problem through lyrics, they're like, oh, they don't have retribution against Eminem. Man, I can't speak English right now. Holy shit. My brain, it does feel like it's a higher temperature. I need one of those, like, temperature gauges. You guys can see it going up through the podcast. It certainly makes it harder to think when your brain is a little hotter. The jokes just aren't flowing off my tongue as usual. But it's okay. It is really okay, guys. It's okay for me. It's not okay for you. You're like, this podcast sucks. No, it's a beautiful podcast. Twitter is removing their block feature. Elon Musk wants to remove the block feature. I truly think that it didn't work before. Like, I've distinctly remember, like, back in the, maybe like a year ago, I forget when this was, but Twitter was a cesspool to use. Like, everything on my feed was just these, like, right-wing accounts and these, like, meme reposting accounts. I didn't follow any of them. It was just showing me all that. And I was like, I don't want to see this. Anytime I saw one, I blocked. And then recently, I didn't unblock any of them. The one account, if you don't go on Twitter, it's just, Elon Musk he's a little bit too blatant in what he's doing. He's saying it's free speech, and I guess it is free speech because anyone can go post on there, but certainly, without a doubt in my mind, he's giving extra oomph to some of these accounts, some of these right-wing accounts, which I guess in his mind, it's like, well, previously they were giving some oomph to the left-wing accounts, so now we'll push these. But just one account, End Wokeness, that I 1,000% blocked. I was like, this is the worst account on this app, and now it still shows up. And so I guess I can't block it anymore, which is crazy. And I think people are saying, you know, he's getting rid of the block thing because a lot of people have him blocked because he posts such stupid things. Oh my God. He just reposts something and just write, wow. It's like, black women are actually stupid as shit. And he's just like, wow. And it's like, okay, this is the most racist thing ever, Elon. What the heck? I don't actually think black women are stupid as shit. That's just an example of something he would repost. I think black women are very smart. I think there's no race that is specifically stupider than any other race. Absolve myself there. I'm not Elon Musk. But that's the type of thing he would post. So he obviously wants everyone to see that. It's just ridiculous. Like, everything on Twitter is just so over the top for no reason. Like, the End Wokeness thing is just still going on about the Haitians and the cats. Bro, that's no one cares about that anymore. That's not real. We all know that's not real. I think this thing I saw the other day is like, oh, this town in Maine, 16 cats went missing, and guess who just moved in? The Haitians. Like, bro, what do you think they're coming in by force? Like a zombie horde? Just snatching up cats and shoving them in their mouth. It's like Kirby moved into town and just started inhaling cats. Like, what do you fucking think is going on? I'm sure the guy knows. I believe 99% of people that are posting this stuff know for a fact that they're just posting garbage. They're just being complete grifters. And it's unfortunate because some people believe it. I think a lot of Twitter is bots as well. Like, all the replies are just bots. But it's just so hard to be on there, and without the block feature, which is just, I don't know, it's just crazy. I think you really should be able to block, and you should be able to tell your own algorithm to what you want to see. It shouldn't just be like you go on and you get to see what he wants you to see. Like it's an app for me. There's a for you page, right? It just, I don't know. Being public, that's literally the whole reason. Like, why would you want me to see something I don't want to see? I'm using the app for my play. I go on Twitter mostly for like baseball stuff. Honestly, that's what I do. Because the Mets are about to make the playoffs. We'll see. This might come and bite me in the butt. I think by the time this episode is released, they will have had a result. So you could be watching this, be like, man, this guy doesn't even know. What a fool. He doesn't even know they're about to lose. But they're in a good position. The Mets are in the exact same position they were in 2022. This is not, no one's going to care here. Against the same team, the Atlanta Braves, which I hate with a passion. I hate the Atlanta Braves. They were in this exact same position. It was the second to last series of the year. All they had to do was not get swept, and they would be golden. They just had to win one game of the series. They got swept by Atlanta. They proceeded to then win out the rest of the series, but the next series against the Marlins, I believe. But because they lost to Atlanta, the Atlanta won the season series, I think like 7-6. So the Mets and the Braves had the same record at the end of the year, but the Braves won the division because they had beat the Mets 7 times to the Mets 6. So the same thing has to happen right now, I believe. All the Mets have to do is win one of the 3 games, and then they control their own destiny. But of course, they're going to lose. So I digress. We'll see. I'll be on Twitter. Fuck this shit. I hate this team. I'm going to cry in my hole. But yeah, Twitter is it is kind of still a cesspool. It got a little better, but I think around the election time it is certainly a cesspool. And I don't know. I still go on it because it's the best. I don't like. Does anyone use Threads? No. Does anyone use any of these things? I don't think anyone cares. I don't post on Twitter. I hate. I've tried before and I just can't do it. Sorry, I needed to get some water in my nasal passage. I've tried and I just can't. I don't know. Visual or video comedy for me is much better. Just talking, getting the right words is just tough. And so many of the, oh my god, so many accounts on Twitter, just the comedy they post. I have such a big problem. It's just stealing other people's content. It's reposting the same thing. It's just saying stuff in like slang that it's not even funny. Just using, I don't even know how to describe it. Just saying the N word. It's just like such lazy comedy in my mind. It's just such like just I don't even know how to describe it. Just replying to someone else's joke. The other person already made the joke, and you just reply to like with like the N word, and then it's like gets like a million likes. You're like, okay, what is this? What is this? So that's why I'm like, I'd rather make a video. It's more fun. I'm doing this because it's fun, not because for doing this for fame and fortune and the adoration of millions of fans across the world, but also because it's fun. Speaking about, I hate to go political, but I just on Twitter now there's a lot of these like political face-to-face videos surfacing, which there's I don't know how to describe it. It's like you have like a table where 2 people are talking politics, and there's like a ring of challengers around them, and they keep switching off. And I just want to talk about how much I hate these videos, regardless of who's in them. I think there's been 2 that have been circling. The one with that conservative dude who looks like a goblin, who like smiles so creepily. Him versus like 12 left-leaning dudes, and dudes and dudettes. And there's another one with a guy, a blonde kid, versus 12 right-leaning dudes and dudettes. And I hate both of those videos. I hate how much everyone thinks they know and how right everyone thinks they are. Like both sides, they all just believe they're so right, and I just hate that. It's not actually. It's just people yelling at each other, and no one is getting. There's no progress ever being made. And one person's always way more informed than the other person, and they're ripping them to shreds, but no one's ever conceding. And I don't know, it's just so annoying. And then people are always quoting it like, yo, you got owned, bro. Yo, this shit's crazy. Like, bro, you don't even know what you're talking about either. No one knows what they're talking about. I just hate them so much. I just hate, like, I don't know. I'm talking about how much things I hate. I'm a hater at heart. And, I don't know. I just hate young kids thinking they know so much. Maybe that's it. In my mind, I just think kids are so stupid. They're so stupid, and just like the fact that you think you know so much, it's like, bro, you don't know that much. You don't know that much. I'm sure you know more than me about certain political things, but let's calm down. Let's have an ounce of humility, please. You are not a encyclopedia. You're not an encyclopedia. You need to calm down. Um, Whatever. Okay. Okay, one more political thing. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really so sorry. But I have to keep talking about this. I saw another thing on Twitter. It's all Twitter. Literally all Twitter. A video about how, something about how the KKK is voting. Like, it's like, imagine you're voting for the same candidate as the KKK. Which I thought about. It's like, there's only two candidates pretty much ever. So the odds that you voted for a candidate that the KKK is also voted for, it's pretty high historically. So it really doesn't mean anything. Like the odds I'm voting for a candidate that mass murderers are voting for is pretty fucking high sometimes. Like it's not like everyone voting for your candidate is a nice person. The majority of them are probably pieces of shit. So I don't really get how that's an insult. Like certainly I wouldn't want to if I was on the line for the polls and the KKK came up and like, yo, bro, you're doing a hell of a deed. I'd be like, all right, this is questionable. But the idea that like I'm voting for the light of the earth itself and everyone else is like voting for darkness is like insane to me. Guys, we need to grow up. That's the same with the kids. Like the kids in the video, it's like, okay, I'm voting for freedom, salvation on earth, and you're voting for imprisonment and killing. You're like, it's like Sauron versus Gandalf. Like, okay, we're not voting for them. We're not voting for literal demons. Just two people who suck, but one of them sucks less badly. One of them sucks. I'm not gonna say that. I don't know why I was about to say that joke. So yeah, it's just like I guess the KKK. Who could be voting for? Like right now, as of right now, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. But I'm certainly sure someone who is a complete degenerate, probably the worst person in America is voting for her. I would guess. If I had to guess, the worst person in America is voting for Kamala Harris. I'm gonna make that claim. I don't know who that would be. Probably watching this podcast. The worst person watching this podcast is voting for Kamala Harris. Think about that. You're sitting there like, is it me? Have I done bad things? Yes. And you're voting for her, but it's fine. It's fine because in my mind, she is the lesser of two evils, and that's what I am voting for. Okay, no more politics. Instead, we're going to talk about pizza, which some consider a political discussion in New York. Let's clear the throat. Oh man, my nose is a little bit stuffy right now, but we're going to make it. I'll leave a few more topics. I feel like this is going to be a short episode because I need to heal. But someone commented on YouTube. They asked me to talk about the best pizza in New York. And I don't know the answer to that. I think when you live in New York, people expect you to be a pizza authority. They expect you to be the admin of pizza, this all-encompassing knower of pizza, and I'm just not that. How often can I eat pizza is really the question I ask myself. I don't know, like once a month maybe at most. Like the amount of pizza places I'd have to try, I just don't eat. Like in Manhattan, around me, I'm trying to think of how many pizza places I've been to that I can remember. 4 maybe. Like I don't go to that. I can't eat that much pizza, guys. I don't go out to try. Like I never make a journey just to get pizza. I guess I'll say that. So I don't know. I live in the city, and you can ask me what my favorite pizza. You can ask me what my favorite restaurant is. Some of these fancy restaurants. I don't know. I don't go out to eat that much, so I don't really know. I feel bad. Like I feel like sometimes you expect people. It's like going to Philly and asking someone what the best Philly cheesesteak is. I said the Philly cheesecake. I wouldn't know. If I lived there, I'd probably have one, but like, I don't know. It's not my job to be the fucking tourist bureau of New York to tell you the pizza. I don't know that stuff, guys. I don't care. Like, I just don't want to be fat. That's the problem. I would love to eat pizza every day. If I could eat pizza every day and it like fulfilled my nutrient goals and made me lose weight, for sure, I'm gobbling down pizzas. I'm shoving pizzas down my throat, one-throating pizzas left and right. But I can't do that. So I don't want to have it. And I should probably eat more. Like, I feel bad when I'm like, everyone's talking about amazing pizza, and I'm like, I've never had it. It's like a block away, and I've never had it. But I don't know. I just don't know this stuff. So if you ask me, I think people in the last live was like, "What's the best?" Or one of my TikTok lives, "What's the best restaurant by you?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, guys, I don't really know. There's some good ones I know, but I just don't go out to eat. Like I live alone, right? Most of my friends don't live in Manhattan. I don't know that many people that live near me. They all live in other parts of New York, so they're kind of far. So like to invite someone to go out to eat with me, I'd have to, like I could do it on like a date or something, but I don't want to go to a restaurant with some random person I don't know. A first date, I've never been to a restaurant, I think. I'm fairly certain I've never sat down to eat on a first date in my life. Because that's a commitment, guys. I gotta share a meal with you. What if you suck? What if you hate me too? I don't want to be stuck with someone that hates me and they're just like, ugh, let me get out of this. So I'd rather not do that. But afterwards, I would go to a restaurant if I like the person. But yeah, it just doesn't happen that often. So I don't end up trying that many restaurants. I don't try that much pizza, and I should. But I don't know. Maybe I should try some pizza today. No, I can't. I'm sick. You're not allowed to have pizza when you're sick. We'll see. I'll make it a mission to try some pizza just to get that. I forgot your name, person who commented, but just to give you what you need, just to give you the pizza ranking. There's definitely some objectively best places that I should probably go to. And especially with my schedule, I can just go at like 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. There's probably going to be no one there. I can just stop by and get pizza and I don't have to wait on the line. Like on the weekends, these places, there's one bagel place by me. I'm not going to say the name in case you can triangulate my location. But I went there on like a Tuesday. I feel like I told this story. It's happening to me again. The deja vu happens every time. I went there like on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. There's like no one there, barely a line. I go by on like even a Friday or a Saturday morning, the line is like halfway down the block. It's like ridiculous. For these bagel guys, just get them another time. Not that, like nothing is that good. I truly believe nothing is that good. For me to wait an hour online, you gotta be kidding me. That's the true true New York spirit is not waiting on the line, being like, fuck this shit. I'll get a bagel from the fucking supermarket down the road. So that's my stance. If I gotta wait for giant pizza, if I gotta journey, it's like I'll just get pizza somewhere else. There's a pizza place around my block, actually, like truly 30-second walk from me. I haven't tried it. I don't think it's that highly rated, but I should probably try it just to see what it's like. Okay. Fantasy football is in full swing. I don't play fantasy football. I think I may have talked about this before. I said that I would like to play fantasy baseball. I don't play fantasy football. I don't care. Sometimes I'll watch the games, but I truly don't really care. But the punishments are fun. I know a lot of times you draft a team and then it sucks and you're like, shit, I'm probably going to lose. And the punishments are fun. I like when the fun ones are like you leave someone in a pancake house or a waffle house. I don't know why I called it pancake house. And there's literally the one possible wrong option, pancake. I guess pancake houses are a thing, but the one brand name is not a pancake house. Pancake Village. And they sit down and they have to eat pancakes, and like every pancake they eat takes an hour off the clock, and they have to stay at the Waffle House for 24 hours. It's like if you eat 24 pancakes, you can leave. Or waffles, Jesus Christ. Those are kind of fun. I thought of a good one, though, and I'm sure I can think of many more. But I thought of a good one. You go on a plane ride. If you lose your fantasy football league, you go on a plane, and you have to eat canned tuna and boiled eggs on the plane. You have to just sit there and eat them. And have everyone just stare at you and watch you. I'm going to blow my nose real quick. I'm so sorry. This is a crime. I'm going to blow my nose. It's going to be 2 seconds. I'm not going to cut this. I'm not going to edit this video. I refuse to do that. I'm just going to blow my nose real quick. You guys with me? 3, 2, 1. You didn't even notice I was gone. That's crazy. Sorry, my nose was really getting stuffed. I should probably pour some water as well, too. Let me do that. No editing. No cutting this. Where the hell's my water? There it is. Oh, my God. All right, we're still good. We're still good, guys. We're still good. Nothing has happened. Nothing wrong has happened. We're still talking about fantasy football. Yeah, so you eat a lot of eggs and tuna. Like, you take a long... I guess this requires money, this punishment. Or you can take a Greyhound bus or something. You just have to take some packed form of transportation, and you pull out the smelliest food. You pull out a can of sardines, and you just go to town, and then everyone just has to watch you. It could be the same thing. Like, you have to eat in a certain amount in order to get off the plane. Just have to keep taking flights back and forth. That'd be a good one. That'd be a crazy one. So if anyone's looking for punishments, if you guys need me to devise punishments for you, I'm sure no one watching this plays fantasy football. I don't think that's my audience. It's not like the bros tuning in. But if you do need me to get some, I can think of some more. But that's a good one. That's I used to play this game in college, and I don't know why. I need to write down a list of things I've talked about because this is getting ridiculous. My mind's just going through this stuff. We used to play in college a card game where the loser would have to do a punishment. That would have been perfect for that. It was a very simple game. It was called Yusuf. I forgot how to play, honestly. I would love to play again. But the punishments were just fun punishments. Some people didn't do them. Sometimes they were so easy. What did I have to do? I had to I forgot what I had to do. I had to go up to a random girl and ask if I could give her a hug, and I remember that was very weird. It's just stupid. I remember I went up to her and I was like, "Hey, can I give you a hug?" And she's like, "You have to just give me a hug. You can't ask. Like, you have to be dominant about it." I was like, "What? I can't just go up to random people and hug them? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?" So I guess that was a good sign. Maybe she was like, "Oh, you like I wanted you to hug me." But I was like, "That's a very strange thing to say." Like, you just have to assault people. Like, I don't know what you've heard, but women like getting touched without their consent. That was a fine punishment. One time I had to try to pay for my food at like the campus store with a pumpkin. Like, I had to check out, and then we had like I don't know, we had like a mini pumpkin. I was like, I had to ask, would you take this pumpkin? And the dude, like, I'm pretty sure the dude was fucking high as shit. The guy working the counter, and he was like, if it was my own store, I would have taken that pumpkin. That's a sick pumpkin, dude. And I was like, oh, nice. So I paid regular, but I offered him the pumpkin. And then the most fun punishment we did. This is not even related to fantasy football at all anymore, but just punishments. They're fun, right? It's not like shriek and or take your clothes. Oh God, Jesus Christ, take your clothes off and run through campus. Like that's, it's not a fraternity. Like I did basically live. So my freshman year dorm in college was all boys. It was an all boys dorm because it was basically the worst dorm on campus because it was all the people who decided late that they wanted to go to the school. Like for me, I was deciding between two different schools. I decided to go to Carnegie Mellon University. If you didn't know that, I said it many times. Um, so we got put into the all boys dorm with no AC, which wasn't really that bad. I lived in the corner unit, so we had two windows, so there was a breeze. But some of the other rooms, no AC was a disaster. With all boys, ugh. So it's almost like a frat house, but it was more like it wasn't really fratty vibes. It was like fun, friend. Like those guys were all my friends throughout college. It was just like fun, friendly, It's a nerdy school, nerdy vibes. But my punishment, I think the favorite one was there was the dining hall. There was this place where you could like check off things on a list. It was like they just grilled food, so you could check like a meat off and like some sides, and then he would make it for you. Just hand him like a ticket. So we photocopied the ticket with all the items, and then we added a new item and I added a new meat. We just added the word shawarma to it. So it was like steak, salmon, chicken, and then just shawarma, and we put them all back in the bin. And then we like one of us. I think I don't think it was my punishment. It was someone else. They just had to check off shawarma and give it to him. And the dude was like, "What the fuck is this?" He was like, "Did you guys add this?" We're like, "No, that's you guys don't have shawarma. Like, you didn't just add shawarma." And he was just laughing like, "No, we don't got shawarma." I was like, "All right, shit." It's just like a goofy punishment. I think there was a place around the corner that actually did have shawarma. That was the joke. It's like, and I think back then we thought it was a funny word. I don't remember ever hearing about shawarma until the first Avengers movie came out. Now it feels like a universal thing everyone knows about, but I don't know. In my mind, I was like, I didn't know shawarma existed. So it was a thing the other place served. It's like maybe he can just go around and get it and it'd be funny. But he was just like, nah, we don't fucking make that here, bro. So it was a cute joke, like a common prank. I don't remember the worst thing someone had to do. People didn't do their punishments set. Like some of them were easy. Like there was another place in Pittsburgh. It was called Stacked. It's like a hamburger place, but you would like check off things on a sheet what you wanted to order. And all one of my friends had to do was write, like you put your name on there too. He just had to write his name as Vanessa. That was the joke. Just literally had to write his name as Vanessa. By the way, that crab's name is Vanessa. You can't see the picture. There's a picture about me with my crab wife, Vanessa. All he did, he was like, I don't want to do that. Oh, I remember the worst thing I had to do. Oh my god, this is actually kind of tough. This was a tough. So we went to a restaurant. This was like the last punishment I think anyone had to do. It was mine, and it was not good. I don't think anyone else would have done it, but I did it, and I was proud of myself for doing it. But I had to I had to order my food at a restaurant, and then I had to call him over and I think tell him I wanted it to be sent back. I had to complain about my food, which like but it was perfectly fine. So like I got my food and then he came back, and I was yeah can I forgot what I said, something so stupid. I was like, yeah, can I send this back? And his face like became like horrified. He was like, oh my god. I think I said, can I send this back because it's too good? And then he started laughing. He's like, oh, thank God you scared me so much. That's so funny. I was like, yeah. But I don't know. I didn't like to crush his soul. It was kind of embarrassing. It's kind of awkward. Poor guy. We're just punishments are just ridiculing poor innocent people that just work trying to work a normal job. We're just like let's put them in an awkward situation. That's the whole show of Impractical Jokers. That's all it is. But it's fun. It's fun to do that. It's so much fun. If I had a hidden camera, that'd be great. But yeah, it's just embarrassing. I think when you don't have to interact with other people as much, it's fine. But when you have to directly like talk to other people and be weird with them, it gets weird. I think I'd be good at Impractical Jokers, by the way. I think it changes when you know there's a camera on you. I would be more comfortable doing stupid shit because, like, there was one episode. I used to watch Impractical Jokers all the time. I haven't watched in a minute. There's one episode I remember where James Murray, the bald man, was like accosting this giant dude, this giant black guy in the store, and they kept egging him on, and the guy like lunged for him, and the security came over and like protected him. So if I knew that I wasn't going to get in trouble and everything was fine, I'd be good. Like I feel like I could do whatever I needed to do. Maybe other people think the same way, but it just changes the stakes. It's like not real life anymore at that point. So it's an easier show. With that being said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. I probably am wrong. Easier said than done. Okay. Two more topics. But they're fun. My throat is like, please end this right now. Please, Matthew. This needs to be over. There was this girl, I matched with this girl on Hinge the other day. And she said one prompt, which reminded me of something. She said, I forgot. She actually unmatched. I went to check what the prompt is, and she had unmatched me for this, which I thought was funny. We were in the middle of a conversation, so I guess that wasn't going too well. But whatever, it's fine. I think her prompt was like, best way to ask me out is chainsawing through my door or something. And I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I realized that actually happened to me when I was younger. I have a story of people breaking into my house when I was younger I'm pretty sure they chainsaw through the front door. And I truly do think I said this. I don't think I said this story. I just forget. I've said this story to other people. The deja vu needs to stop. It needs to stop. When I was younger, I was on vacation at my grandparents' house on Long Island, which is it's probably at that point it was an hour to an hour and a half from my house. And we got a call. This was when I was maybe 7 or 8, I think. We got a call that someone had broken into our house. And I think one of the neighbors was walking by and they called the police. Because we got back home and there was a giant hole in our front door. There was a giant hole. As if someone had literally taken a chainsaw and just went and just cut it out. And so I don't know I think they might have used like a wooden sledgehammer or something. Or some sort of tool. I really don't know. Their plan was to go. I think our house has an alarm. My parents' house has an alarm, which went off. I think it has motion detectors. I think they thought like the alarm would only go off if something was open, like the window was broken or like a door was open. So they thought maybe by cutting through the door that they could evade the alarm going off. So they cut through the door and then the alarm went off and they escaped. They didn't actually steal anything. They were too scared. So we got back. There's a giant hole in the door. And it was boarded up with some pieces of wood. Apparently the police officers, this was back when police officers actually were helpful to the community mostly. Now they've fallen from grace a little bit. I'm not going to say they're all bad. But they actually went into our house, which I don't really know if I like. I guess the alternative is that there's a giant hole in my house. They went into the garage and they found like these spare pieces of wood somehow. And they just like drilled them to the door. So the door had a hole and there was just like pieces of plywood drilled to the back. Which I guess was nice. And so it's kind of crazy. We got home and like, of course the kids are scared. I'm like, Jesus Christ, someone tried to break into my house. As an 8-year-old, I had nightmares about that. I remember having nightmares about them stealing my stuffed animals, which would be the last thing. Imagine they came to my house and just stole stuffed animals. They went through all that work just to steal a stuffed chicken and a stuffed duck. They left everything else. Which it's also kind of crazy they didn't steal anything. Like they went into the house and then like they just immediately left. They could steal like a vase. I don't know. At least you did all that work to steal nothing. That's crazy. But yeah, they left empty-handed, which is great. So the alarm saved the day. My parents are very strict about the alarm. My mom, I don't think, can go to sleep if the alarm's not on. But it's been steadily. I think they've had it for 25 years. The thing is a beast. The alarm is a beast. But it does cause issues. But yeah, it saved the day. So. And it sounds cooler if I said they chainsawed in the front door, but I don't actually know if they did that. They cut a hole through the front door by some means. through us, and our door is thick, like it's a solid wood, thick ass door, and they just were like, all right, let's bust through it, which is impressive. But I think the alarm scared them off. Like a neighbor called the police as well, so that was cool. That was back in the day. That's a pre 2010 story, I believe. That's what was going on back. If you weren't alive back then, shit was wild. People were going crazy in the streets. So yeah, I told the girl that on Hinge, and she was like, "Oh, was it fun or something?" I forgot what she said. She might be listening to this as it's happened because she knew who I was. Um, but it was fun. It was fun. The aftermath was a lot of fun. Getting a new door was fun, and just worrying that someone was going to do it again. It was a good time. But it's a cool story, and it was. We live in a great neighborhood too. It's like my neighborhood is not dangerous. That's like that's such a weird crime too. Like you normally be worried about getting mugged. I would never be worried about getting mugged in my neighborhood. But someone like sawing through your door is like a real. It's such a cartoon thing. It's like something Dr. Doofenshmirtz would do with a saw and like a. Isn't that like a popular cartoon trope? Like sawing through a door with just like a hole. Like, I'm thinking of like Tom and Jerry doing that. But yeah, no one really. I don't think people really tried to rob us other than that, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't really remember that ever happening. My mom always tells stories about her getting robbed when she was younger. Her parents, or I think her dad's car got stolen. Their house got robbed once. She lived in like the middle of Queens. She lived in a worse area. But yeah, I guess it just doesn't make sense. I feel like some of these nicer areas are just so much easier to rob people. I don't really get it sometimes. Like there's a lot of crime in the low income areas, but I don't know. Isn't that the least rewarding of the robberies? You're not gonna get that much if you go to like the middle of nowhere when there's people just chilling. Like an old person. I'm not saying rob an old person's facility, but if you can get in, like it's pretty simple. Like I know some old people probably leave their door open. You just walk in. You're like, hey guys, they're out playing canasta. You just I don't know, take their childhood family photos, rob their prized possessions. That's just me telling what I would do if I was a robber. I'd just rob people's family photos. Just steal everything that means the most to them. That's how you get the most money back. Like, I'll give you this picture of your mother that's the only one left. All you have to do is meet me in the park. I'm such a sinister man. Such an evil man I am. That's crazy. That is why I'm sick right now. It's God's revenge on me. All right, guys. We have a hypothetical question here to end the podcast. You get $10 million a year. I found this on Reddit. You get $10 million a year, but you always feel like you have to pee. You always feel like you have to pee. Would you do it? Now, the way this question was framed is that you always have a baseline level of feeling like you have to pee. So I guess it's like an amount where you have to pee, but it's not like you feel like you're about to die. It's just like a sense of you have to pee. And you don't know, it can never go below that. So you don't actually know if you have to pee until it goes over that sensation. So it can go over that sensation, but can never go below. And you get $10 million a year. I would do it for sure. I think that's just being an old person. I think old people have to pee. My mom and dad literally have to pee every 2 seconds. They'll pee, and like my dad, the amount of times he does this, I don't know why I'm hating on him right now, but he'll go pee and then he'll come out of the bathroom and then he'll be like, I actually need to go back again. Like the second he comes out, it's like, actually, I made a mistake. I need to go back. I didn't get it all out. I didn't go. So that's just them, their whole life. They just have to pee all the time. So would I be, the question is, would I be a 60-year-old man for $10 million a year? Yes, for sure. And I think you can just stop. Like the time you stop, you just don't get the money anymore. So of course I would do that. That's a great deal. I don't care about having to pee. Like I can work while having to pee. I'm fine. I'll get used to it. Would I piss my pants a couple times? Probably, but I also have $10 million. Imagine someone making fun of you for peeing your pants. You're like, all right, bro, have fun working. All I have to do is not piss or all I have to do is pee. I could pee my pants all day. I could sit in this apartment, literally not move for a year, peeing all over the place. $10 million. Would I do it for $1 million? Yes. Would I do it for $500,000? Yes. I'd probably do it for $100,000, honestly. Just as in addition to whatever else I make, I just get that much. Probably $10 million is a crazy amount. Now, if I felt like I had to poop all the time, that's a little bit different. Feeling like you have to poop and holding it in changes something about you. You start to talk to people differently. You go, oh. You have to think about your words very carefully. I once held in I don't know if I'm going to tell the story, but I will to end the podcast. I once held in a fart. I was on this date, and I was sitting on the couch right next to this girl, and Like I couldn't. I just had to fart, but I couldn't do it. Like you can't do it in that scenario. You have to have willpower. You have to hold it in. You got to be a strong soldier for the ladies. So I was just holding it in, and it was like an hour. I didn't get up for some reason. I don't remember the situation. Like we're just on the couch for like hours, just talking. And I just remember, like, at a certain point, I couldn't fart anymore. Just, like, inverted. Like, the farts reversed. The Uno reverse card of the fart. And they just started bubbling up into my body. And it was severe pain. It was like, oh, like, just, I don't know, my small intestine or whatever was just, like, getting filled with gas. And I was like, this is insane. So I had to leave. And I think I wanted to leave at that point anyway, but it was an excuse. Like, my stomach, like, started having severe pains. I was like, I don't know what this is from. Obviously, I knew it was from. I was containing my farts. I was sealing them in. So I was tightening my sphincter to an unparalleled level. But yeah, it wasn't good. So when people say like don't fart, like you gotta fart, guys. It's medically unsound for you not to fart. It was a negative thing for me not to fart. I wish I did fart and just ruin the vibe. But yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. And I never saw that girl again, but that was my decision. But not because of the farts. But that's a good test, actually, I guess. If you really want to know if someone likes you, just fart by them. See what they say. These are like little litmus tests. Just fart, and the worst. Sometimes you fart and it doesn't smell bad at all. Sometimes you fart and, shit is crazy. There's some roadkill, bro. They call me Roadkill Roger. My stomach is gassy. Is going crazy in there. So, I don't even know. It's like a roulette. Sometimes you think it's safe. Good Lord. One time, I don't know why this turned into me farting. This is not even about, I guess the question's about peeing. One time I was on a flight. One second, let me take a sip of water. Sorry, guys. One time I was on a flight. I think it was back from Nashville. So it was my cousin's bachelor party. So the week had been a lot of drinking and eating. So my stomach was in shambles. It was a mess. And I had to fart like I could not stop farting. It was insane. And like I remember I asked my brother who's next to me, I was like, do you smell my farts? He's like, no. So like, okay, maybe it's not as bad. But I was like, I have to believe the person behind me smells it, and I feel like such an idiot. Or such an asshole, not an idiot. But I couldn't help myself. Like I was in severe pain. So I had to go to the bathroom at one point. I got up, I went to the bathroom, blew the bathroom up. I never go poop on a plane. I never go pee on a plane, really. I have to. This is for the community, for the country. I need to do this. It's my civic duty. And I did it. And then I went back to my seat, and maybe 5 minutes I was good. And then it started up again, and I was like, good Lord. It was like the double whammy, a combo deluxe. Cannot get out of this. And I think that was when they're like, everyone remain in their seats. We're beginning our descent. So it was like 30 minutes. I couldn't go. Like I was like, I got to hold this in. I was like, Jesus Christ, I feel so bad. Couldn't make eye contact with the person behind me. Like, please don't look at me. Please, I think that was after... That was also after I started making videos. That was in 2022, August. So theoretically, they could know who I was and be like, that motherfucker, that joke-telling motherfucker on the internet was farting in my face the whole flight. Good thing it was a quick flight. But I just felt so bad. And my brother also tells a story. I think that's why I asked him, because he once told a story about how I'm stealing his story now. He farted on a plane, or he kept farting, and the guy next to him looked at him, was like, bro, you can't do that. Bro, you can't do that right now. As I just thought it was funny. So I had that story in my mind, and I was like, I can't be that man. I can't do it. But I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't. Like, it would be a fight against good versus evil, a battle of epic proportions, a biblical battle. David versus Goliath, Samson versus his hair. I don't even fucking know what Samson did. But yeah, that is the podcast, everyone. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to be on vacation next week as of today, so I'm going to film my next episode very soon. Or maybe I'll film it. I'm going to the Dominican Republic. I might film it there. I'm undecided yet. Might do like a destination podcast, which would be really cool. So we'll see. But again, thank you for watching. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to meetsangria.com. You can also go to mattlipari.com if you want to follow me on any other social media. If you're just finding this podcast and you don't know who I am, I'm just a regular guy living in this world with poison ivy on his hand, and sometimes poison ivy on his nether regions. Okay, have a nice week, guys. Bye-bye.